Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Well, you know what? I know our KNON listeners are going to come through. You know what that K is for, right? Knowing what you need to do all the time. You know what that N is for, right? Now is the time. You know what that O is for, right? You own us. We're here for you. And that other N, never ending in your efforts. Come on. That's KNON.org. Hey, let me sing you your anthem song right now for this hour. 972-647-1893. Hey, in a few minutes, I'm going to try to rap that. I'll be back with you in 2 and 2.
And if you were not awake before, you are now.
I didn't know they were going to turn the microphones on. 972.
Sorry, Annie. Sorry, Doc. Are you okay?
Call us at 972-647-1893. I'd just like to clear my throat before we go.
That's a big one, I'll tell you.
That's the first time I ever did it on the air.
It's
Fund Drive. It's Pledge Drive. Call us at 972-647-1893 and help keep the workers' beat on the air.
And we got
Bonnie,
lots
new
of
stuff.
Yeah, we do. I have a Texas Theater movie pass. This is good for any movie at the historic Texas Theater. It's in Oak Cliff at 231 West Jefferson Boulevard. This is a very, very historic place. It's very cool. For a $30 pledge, you get a pair of tickets. And for a $60 pledge, you get a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. Now, I only have one pair of tickets. So a $30 pledge will get you these tickets. And I also have a Spiral Diner and Bakery $30 gift certificate. And for a $50 pledge, you will get the gift certificate, a bumper sticker, and a program schedule. And
that's but Spiral Diner is a vegan restaurant.
It's a vegan restaurant.
But I eat there, and I'm not a vegan.
No, it's good food. It's great food. They use only organic ingredients whenever possible. All items on their menu are 100% vegan. No meat, milk, eggs, honey, casein, etc., which means that they are naturally cholesterol free. Mm-hmm. So they are at 1101 North Beckley in Oak Cliff.
They're in Fort Worth too.
Oh, they are? Wow.
Yeah. Do the tickets apply to Fort Worth?
I
or just
think
here
this is just the one in Dallas.
I see.
The one in Dallas. So I have one pair of tickets for that also.
Well, that's a good deal.
There's
so you go to the Texas Theater, and it's not very far to the Spiral Bakery. So how about a $60 donation will get you both?
That's right. So and you could just go ahead and actually you could make it.
This is like dinner in the theater.
You could make it 110, and you could get tickets, a T-shirt. You could wear your T-shirt to the Texas Theater and to dinner.
All right.
Support the station. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, those are good. Those are good premiums, and that's new stuff.
Yeah, new stuff. 972-647-1893. And y'all, we have got some really cool stuff. Gene has got some books to give away today.
I got some books.
That's pretty.
You ready to go into my book?
Yeah, go for the books.
Okay, for a $40 donation, you can get Rainbow at Midnight. This book, you will not be able to find this book. For one thing, it's out of print. But the other reason is because I buy every copy of it that ever comes on the internet. Rainbow at Midnight is the book that explains what happened to the labor movement. Because people are always saying, we used to have 37% of the labor movement organized, and now we have 11%, and when you don't count the government workers,
6.7.
it comes down to 6.7.
Yeah.
So that's just in the private sector. So we have fallen from our high perch that we had back in the 40s and 50s. And everybody says, well, whatever happened? It's obvious what happened, and it's in this little book called Rainbow at Midnight. So this is why I promote this book and carry copies around and stuff like that. For $40, you can get Rainbow at Midnight by George Lipsitz. It's not a real big valuable book. It's not a hardcover, but it's valuable because you can't find it.
That's right.
You can't find it because I already bought all the copies that there are. And so Rainbow at Midnight for $40. Get that one.
That's a great.
I got other books too, but this is the one that I promote the most. I used to promote Labor's Untold Story the most, but like almost all labor histories, it ends at the end of World War II.
Oh.
There's hardly anything that explains what happened after World War II.
Which is when it really all exploded.
That's when things went down.
Yeah.
It's when
it exploded the wrong way.
Beginning in
Imploded.
1947, the American labor movement began a long downward spiral that is now much, much more hopeful.
Yes.
I'm very, very hopeful about the American labor movement today. This Texas AFL-CIO convention that we had last month was a real thrill. But we can't forever just pretend that we didn't ever make a mistake, because obviously from 1947 to, say, 1995, the American labor movement lost its vitality and became totally estranged from the rest of the labor movement, from the rest of the workers' movement. We're overcoming that now,
yes,
and I'm very happy with it.
Me too.
But it'd be better if we just acknowledge that we made a mistake, and try not to do that anymore.
Exactly.
That's why we have history, folks.
And that's right, so that we don't repeat those mistakes.
I forgot to give our names. This is my friend Bonnie Mathias.
Thank you very much, and this is my friend Jean Lantz.
We're on the Workers' Beat, and so are you. And please stay with us. Hopefully we will continue the Workers' Beat, but we never know, because they have these fund drives, and if you don't fulfill your pledge, you're going to go. They lost a bunch of programs last year. Nine shows in 2012. Because frankly, they could not prove that anybody was listening and that anybody cared. And the only way to prove that anybody's listening and that they care
is that you call.
Is to get those pledges in.
And if you're shy and you don't want to, Annie is here today. Yay, Annie.
Yeah, you can get Annie's sexy voice on the radio.
Sexy voice on the radio. Hey, that's a plus all in itself. That's worth $30.
We did not ever actually prove that she used to do phone sex.
Right, but the word is on the street.
That she could have.
Yeah, word on the street.
We started that rumor.
We did.
She obviously could have. And you'll find that out when you call 972-647-1893 and get Annie on the phone. Whole bunch of stuff is coming up. In fact, I've got half a page of stuff coming up. We were talking about, reinvigorating the labor movement. Well, it's being reinvigorated. Just listen to all the stuff that's going on. TOP is presenting info on health care. This is on August 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Estelitas restaurant. That's 10828 Ferguson Road, and here's the number for TOP: 469-203-0496. Now, on August the 24th, the Dallas NAACP Martin Luther King Freedom Fund Scholarship Banquet. This is how they raise money. You have to call for tickets. Call Clara McDade at 972-225-8030. Or you can email cmcdade58@yahoo.com. Let me give the number again, though: 972-225-8030. I've been told that I give those numbers too fast.
Sorry.
The Women's Equality Day, sponsored by the League of Women Voters. Now, there's an admirable organization.
Absolutely.
League of Women Voters. August the 26th, they will do Women's Equality Day, sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Irving. They're going to have Dr. Elba Garcia, Dallas County Commissioner, District 4, and you have to call to RSVP. Here's the number: 214-683-8230, and they have another number. This is her home number, I think: 972-570-5645.
That should be great.
On Wednesday, August the 28th, let freedom ring, bell ringing. They're going to be ringing bells because of the I Have a Dream speech that was given at the march in 1963. The bell ringing will be at 2 o'clock on August the 28th, and they will have a memorial at Thanksgiving Square in downtown Dallas. I think that's where the bells are.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and that's close to Cathedral. I don't know if the Cathedral's going to ring their bells or not.
Oh, I hope so.
Anyway, Thanksgiving Square at 2 o'clock on August 28th. Now, that evening, Friendship Baptist Church is inviting everybody to come to there's two things, apparently. You might have to explain this,
yes.
Bonnie. At 6 p.m., they have the Organized Labor Workshop, and then at 7 p.m., they have the memorial.
Right.
And that takes place at Friendship West, 2020 West Wheatland. They didn't give a phone number. Well, you're supposed to know where Friendship West Baptist Church is.
Right. And Mr. Hall, Vincent Hall, spoke at the AFL-CIO, Dallas AFL-CIO meeting the other night, and he assured us you will be out of there by 8:30. He encourages everyone to please bring your youngsters, bring your children. They have to know the history that we have come through so that it is not repeated. Even though it is being repeated right now. I mean, we're still fighting very strongly for civil rights.
Mm-hmm. And this is the 50th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech.
And the March on Washington.
That Dr. Martin Luther King gave, which gave the civil rights movement a great national, well, an international character.
Yeah.
Attracted millions of people to support the cause of civil rights.
I believe there were 300,000 people
that were there.
That were actually there in Washington.
And they've had memorials every 10 years since then. I went to one in 83 and the one in 93. Didn't go in 2003, and then now this is the 50th anniversary. So crowds are packing into Washington, D.C. If you can't go to Washington, D.C., come to Friendship West Baptist Church, 7 o'clock, 2020 West Wheatland Road. And that's the memorial service. Now, what is the Organized Labor Workshop at 6 p.m.? Do you know?
I think they're going to, my understanding is they're going to have some labor leaders there to talk about where the history of labor, the correlation of labor and I'm trying to think, organized labor and religion. And, because there is a very tight correlation.
That's something we've been working on.
Yeah.
Job of Justice for some time has been working on trying to coordinate progressive religious leaders with union people. Mm-hmm. Most unions have a chaplain, and most unions have Christians prayers at their services and that sort of thing at their events. But,
absolutely.
But the connection between churches and unions was kind of lost when Reagan was president, because Reagan enlisted the very worst and most backward aspects of religion in part of his army of war against the workers. Mm-hmm. And he was able to, frankly, buy out an awful lot of religious leaders with government grants and that sort of thing to line them up against the workers.
So much for that separation of church and state.
Yeah, and that's still going on, so that to a large extent, many religious leaders or so-called religious leaders are actually against the people of our country, but most of them aren't. And so it's just a matter of kind of coordinating and bringing that back. So I'm glad that Reverend Freddie Haynes is having an organized labor workshop at 6 p.m. However, the big service will be at 7 p.m.
7 to 8:30, 90 minutes. We're out of there.
Whole bunch of more stuff coming up August the 31st at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Texas Theater. We were just talking about the Texas Theater.
That's right.
A historic landmark in Oak Cliff, 231 West Jefferson Boulevard, at 10 o'clock on August 31st. That we'll have a forum. It'll be, it's actually an investigation. It's a hearing on low-wage workers, and that lasts until noon, and then we're going to march. We're going to have the first Labor Day march that anybody can remember from the Texas Theater, 231 West Jefferson Boulevard, and that's during Labor Day weekend on Saturday. Mm-hmm. That night, at the Mecca Cafe College of Complexes, they will also be celebrating Labor Day, and they've invited me to participate in that.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So if you haven't watched one of these great videos that Two Hats Publications makes here on our station, and you want to know what funny-looking people are actually on the radio, you can come to the Mecca Cafe and I will be there. I will try to dress better than I am now.
Nah.
And
we're comfortable.
And we'll be talking about labor that night. The next morning is Sunday, September the 1st, is the day before Labor Day. Now, on that day, nationwide, we try to do labor in the pulpit. We try to get worker people to talk to their congregations or to somebody's congregation. And actually, I've got speakers lined up. If your church service wants to get a labor speaker, I can get you one.
That's great.
So that would be another good reason to call us at 972-647-1893 and make a pledge to KNON today. I'll be speaking that morning on September the 1st at the First Community United Church of Christ on Ferguson Road in East Dallas. This is a very progressive church anyway, because they're probably way ahead of me. But we'll be talking anyway, just acknowledging Labor Day. And the big Labor Day breakfast from the Dallas AFL-CIO will be on that Monday morning at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Mesquite. You have to get tickets, and here's the number, 214-826-4808. That's a long list.
It is, but and then right after the breakfast, you can go home and take a nap or go run or something. Yeah. And then you can go to the picnic.
Yeah, then the Democrats have their big picnic.
They have the big picnic
at
the Czech Club.
At the Catholic Czech Hall. And Czech is not C-H-E-C-K. It's Czech as in Czechoslovakian.
Yes.
C-Z-E-C-H. The Catholic Czech Hall, 4930 Military Parkway. That starts at noon, goes to 4 o'clock, and you're supposed to bring a covered dish.
Right.
Bring a dessert or mashed potatoes or something. I think they're going to supply the meat.
Yes. I think we got chicken.
Going right along to even more stuff.
There's more. There's more.
Still connected to Labor Day. Yeah, you can get these knives.
That's right.
And wait, there's more. On Thursday, September the 5th, stand up to Walmart.
Yeah.
See, Walmart fired people. There's
60
some of those poor guys got fired.
Yep.
And a number of them were here in North Texas. And they will be at 6185 Retail Road at 5 p.m. on September 5th. You can remember this. It's September 5 at 5. Stand up to Walmart, 6185 Retail Road, Dallas, 75231. And that's on September the 5th at 5 p.m. Tuesday to September the 10th is the first day to file for precinct chair for the 2014 Democratic primary. That's very important. Yeah, I know, but this doesn't seem right that we're already worrying about elections again.
But we have to be concerned. That's at 972-647-1893. We want to thank the folks that called in this morning and pledged. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Gene, do we have some names to thank?
Yes, we already do. We've got good news and bad news about the book.
They didn't want the book?
The Rainbow at Midnight that I was holding up just a minute ago. The good news, the bad news, is that book has already been taken. Annie grabbed that book with a $40 pledge, and we are so happy to have presented her with a copy of the Rainbow at Midnight. Now, the good news, that was the bad news. The good news is that I got another one.
Wow, look at that.
Well, they only had 3 this month, and that's how many I bought. I buy every one that I can get.
That's
Rainbow
really
at Midnight is the book that explains what happened to the labor movement. It's also got a big section on Marilyn Monroe and another big section on Hank Williams, because it's a book about the cultural changes of the late 1940s.
Wow.
And Hank Williams and Marilyn Monroe were very big in the late 1940s, and all these labor changes happened. And that's why the book is called cultural history rather than just the labor history. But I got another one for another $40 pledge. You can get Rainbow at Midnight. That's the good news. More good news. Tony Morris made a nice pledge, and we appreciate that so much.
Oh, and Tony wants to say something.
Oh, is he online?
Yeah. He's on the
okay.
phone.
Good morning,
All right.
Tony. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Glad to hear
Good,
from you,
thanks.
brother.
I wondered, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, y'all had a conversation about Detroit and the pension fund that they're trying to get rid of.
Yes, they are. That's the main thing. They're trying to take their pensions.
Now I agree with you in spirit and thought when you say that, but I want to give you a little pushback though on it, because I saw some of the people who is really going to affect, and and they were like civil workers, police officers, something like that for the city. Mm-hmm. But they are complicit in the deterioration of Detroit by leaving Detroit. Uh-huh. You know, these people. It's not no fault of their own they made, but when you look at it, they moved to the suburbs. They work for the city, and as they move further out, never thinking that it would come back to haunt them because the city tax base was eroding. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That they are complicit in why Detroit is where they are. And people always look at Detroit as a standard bearer. New York City was in the same situation in 1975. The government bailed out New York City for a tune of $2.3 billion because they were going to file bankruptcy as a major city. Mm-hmm. And it was the same reason. It was the crime, the white flight to the suburbs, and sometimes the people who vote against their own interests don't understand that they're complicit in that. Mm-hmm. And saying this, most of the jobs that has benefited the middle class after World War II were union jobs.
Absolutely.
They tend to want to forget where they came from. Not saying that you have to harp on the past, but understand that your child went to college on your union pay. And now those same kids who are in middle management, upper management, are making decisions that are destroying your basic retirement pension plan. And for some reason, until America realized that, you know, you can vote Republican, Democrat, but you basically, and I say you, and meaning me included, we are complicit in this deterioration of the way unions are, the way pension funds are being mismanaged by government. Mm-hmm. And then the first thing we say is, well, I want my part, but we don't want to be that community that really is the essence of America. When tragedy happens, we come together.
Okay.
You know, but when it's financially personal, we say, hey, as long as it's not in my backyard, I don't care. And until all Americans get behind that, guess what? We're going to keep having these issues based on cutting our interest off because we think that we have arrived, and then all of a sudden, 40 years later, those same people who retired saying, hey, the city of Detroit promised me this.
Yeah.
But what's my responsibility of that? And I'll leave y'all with that. I just wanted to throw that to you.
Yeah. What do you think of this? A lot of labor people, Tony, say some of our members got a riding lawnmower, and so they think they're Republicans.
Yeah, I work with people like that. I work with people who work for a union, who move to the suburbs, and they got the boats, the RVs or whatever, and they forgot because I work for American.
Forgot where they came from.
American cut they pay.
Yeah.
And the first thing so believe me, I work with those people, but at the same time, guess what? My pay got cut, they pay got cut.
Okay, wrap it up, Tony, because we got to take a break.
Okay, I'll leave y'all with that. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
We'll be right back.
KNON's Lambda Weekly LGBTQ talk show is holding the first ever Lambda Luncheon and live broadcast on Saturday, August 24th at the KNON Studios. This event will be a tribute to former Dallas City Councilwoman Angela Hunt of District 14, thanking her for her tireless efforts and service to the community. Join David Taffet, the late Patty Fink, and Lerone Landis acknowledging the achievements of Angela Hunt during a live broadcast of the longest-running LGBTQ talk show on America's airwaves. There promises to be discussion of hot topics and reflections with Angela Hunt. Following the broadcast will be a delicious lunch from Thai-rific at noon. This is your chance to be a part of live radio. For tickets or more information, knon.org. That's the first ever Lambda Luncheon with David Taffet, Patty Fink, Lerone Landis, and former Dallas City Councilwoman Angela Hunt on Saturday morning, August 24th, beginning at 11 a.m. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. This is a KNON benefit event. All proceeds go to support Lambda Weekly on KNON.
KNON thanks the Sons Apartment Hall for their support. Every Wednesday night is swing dancing, and Thursday nights it's the Electric Campfire Jam from 7 p.m. to midnight. The Sons Apartment Hall is located at 3414 Elm Street in Dallas. The Sons Apartment Hall is an all-ages venue and is available for rentals. For more information, 214-747-4422 or on the web at sonsapartment.com.
In 2012, the Salvation Army sheltered 6,386 homeless men, women, and children, provided over 190,000 hours of substance abuse rehabilitation, and provided day camps and sports programs for needy children. They operated over 200 apartments for low-income seniors, and they provided over $400,000 in financial assistance to those in need. Chances are very good that you know someone who relied upon these services for shelter, recovery, or other forms of emergency help when life for them made a wrong turn. If you are in need, or to find out how you can help, 1-800-SALARMY. That's 1-800-725-2769, or on the internet at salvationarmyusa.org.
My cup running over. Come on, baby. Pour right in. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be right here at 10 o'clock waiting on you. You know why? Because KNON has time for you. We're your radio station, and we're waiting on you.
Blue Monday, how are you, Blue Monday?
Our music is back. Yay! Thanks, Annie.
Call us at 972-647-1893. Call us right now and make a pledge. Keep the workers beat on the air, because believe me, we'll be gone if we don't.
That's right. That's right. And thank you to Tony, and thank you to Annie.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Yes.
And we still have a copy of Rainbow at Midnight. Now, I got a couple of other books I'd like to mention that I will let you have for a $40 donation. This is a book that you can't find because it's out of print. Always Bring a Crowd, the story of Frank Lumpkin. Frank Lumpkin organized steelworkers, and when the plant shut down, everybody thought, well, we're just out of luck. The company just said, okay, you guys are gone. Frank Lumpkin organized Save Our Steelworkers, and eventually they got a very nice settlement out of it because the company had cheated them. That's gone on a lot in America since 1980. I've got the Whistleblower's Handbook, which we had this guy on the show one time about the ins and outs of being a whistleblower, and you need to know this or you'll end up like, what's his name, Snowden. That can barely get asylum in Russia, for heaven's sakes. And so if you want to be a whistleblower, you ought to know a little bit about it.
You really ought to read
before
that.
you get out there.
Yeah.
Another book I've got is Greg Palast, Armed Madhouse. It says, Who's Afraid of Osama Wolf? China Floats, Bush Sinks, The Scheme to Steal 2000. You know, things about our elections being stolen and stuff like this. This is a big conspiracy buff. People will really love this. And it's all true. And this is a guy who just points out what's actually going on. And when he does it, and he tells it as just straight truth, you realize we're living in a crazy place.
Yeah.
And it's like who was the great folklorist from Oklahoma, Will Rogers. He used to say, I don't make up jokes. He said, I just watch what the government does and report the facts.
That's right. We could do that. So
Greg Palast is one of the people that points out just really what's happening, just ordinary truth, but just how nuts how crazy it all is. You can get any of those books for a $40 pledge. I just brought them from my personal collection because I support this station. Bonnie and I are getting paid zero, nothing. We come in here on Saturday mornings to share the truth information with you that we think will help and help people get organized. That's why we announce all these progressive events.
Exactly.
And there are unprogressive events that we don't announce, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we announce. Usually unprogressive people don't want to go on the sidewalks and streets and everything, because they're inside.
Yeah, they're watching it.
They're
all
inside
on TV.
in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
And,
they're watching it on TV.
Because they own the buildings.
Yeah, there you go.
We're outside the buildings usually in protest, and those are the people that we are appealing to and trying to help get organized, because we need change in America.
Yes, we do.
We need it desperately. And the Workers' Beat, I like to think the Workers' Beat is part of that.
Absolutely.
So if you're for change and you want things to be different than the way they are, and some of the folks that are now last to come in start to come in first, we'd like to be part of that. We'd like to keep the Workers' Beat going and keep KNON going, because KNON lets us do it. I would just ask you, how many other stations in this area are even telling you about workers' events on Labor Day? They're telling you about the sales.
Yeah.
They're telling you how much things cost.
How much you can save.
How much you can spend in various different stores on Labor Day. The papers are full of that, and the other programs, the other TV stations, they're full of stuff you can buy on Labor Day. But what about labor? What about working people?
What about us?
What about the fact that we're working for a living? You won't get that anywhere except here on KNON and here on the Workers Beat program.
That's right.
So we're all for it.
That's right.
Everybody should be all for it.
Jump on board.
I know times are hard, and when times are hard, it is really hard to turn loose of a buck because you got to worry about the rent. The stuff just keeps going up. The tax burden on poor people is worse than it was, and wages are lower than they were.
That's right.
Long-term unemployment. There's a lot of really, really bad things happening. So we know that it's a big sacrifice for you to pick up the phone and make a pledge, but we still want you to do it because we got to fight back.
That's right.
If we're not going to just go on down the drain,
can't do it. No.
If we're not going to just continue this fall, then we're going to have to turn things around.
You have to stand up, and that's I was myself and some other officers from the local attended a meeting with about 10 or 12 other organizations in this faith-based and health agencies, including Planned Parenthood, St. Luke, Community United Methodist Church. There's going to be a big meeting on September the 10th at St. Luke. Actually, it's now Zan Holmes Community Life Center. And this is about the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
We want folks to know, do I qualify? What do I do to get signed up? And if I don't qualify, what do I do?
Yeah, if people are going to get, so we're going to start getting the healthcare situation in America turned around.
That's
and particularly here in Texas.
Yes.
We have to do all we can. The reason I say particularly here in Texas is because Governor Prairie and Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst have blocked as much of the healthcare reform as they possibly could. And so we're going to have to take a role. I didn't realize until recently that part of the healthcare plan is that there's money available that people are getting grants to do these meetings, to hold meetings and explain the Affordable Health Care Act and help people to find their way to it.
And it starts, sign up starts October. That's right around the corner. I mean, that's like 6 weeks.
Right.
So people have to understand what they have to do. What do you know? How do you qualify?
Right.
And
a lot of people do qualify.
Right, but a lot of people are going to be left out in the cold.
Well, the idea, though, is that everybody's going to end up with health care insurance, and we'll overcome this great, horrible blot against us that, especially in Texas, where we have the largest percentage of uninsured people in America.
That's right.
So people can get health care now, but they're going to have to take a little effort figuring out how to fill out the forms and that sort of thing, where to put the forms.
But because Governor Perry and David and Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst have refused the money to expand Medicare, there's going to be some people that are going to be left out. Like 1.5 million people are going to be left out.
I think it's Medicaid that they the
Medicaid,
worst part.
yes, I'm sorry.
The worst
Medicaid.
part is Medicaid that they refuse to expand. 972-647-1893. We talk about these things on KNON on the Workers Beat program. So we would really love to have your support. I know that it's hard to get money together for anything, but you can make a donation. You got a couple of months to pay it off. And you don't just have to call the station. If you're shy, you can just send the money. Make a check and send it to us here. I'm going to give out our address where we are right now. So if you're an assassin waiting to shoot me and Bonnie, here's the address.
God, don't say that.
Well, or if you're bringing a bouquet.
Money.
If you're bringing your check in, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. One more time while Bonnie's chair squeaks.
Sorry.
5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, and the zip code is 75235. You can just send money. And what about online? How do you do that?
KNON.org. So easy. Just remember, Workers Beat is your favorite show.
Yeah, when you get to the part where it says what's your favorite show, we even if you have to lie, put Workers Beat there, and that will help a lot. Of course, it may not even be necessary for you to do anything, because the Walmart family may start coming through with their responsibility to KNON after all the nice things we say about the Walmart employers. The Walmart family may very well come through with a couple of million, just whatever they've got in their pockets, just whatever is in their pocketbooks. They may come through and pay off and put KNON on a sound financial footing, and so much so that our idea is that Walmart will give so much money to KNON that they'll start paying me and Bonnie salaries.
Yeah.
That would be something, or at least a couple of bucks we could get. gas
minimum
money.
Wage maybe.
How about gas money?
Okay, gas money, that'd be good. That's about minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
of course, when you ride your bike, I don't know what you're going to do about that.
I wouldn't get anything for that. But we talk about Walmart all the time, and they don't give.
They never give us anything.
They don't give a cent, and they're getting all this free publicity from us. For example, this little gem. Somebody did research to find out if it's really true that Walmart creates jobs, because they always say that. So we come in the community, we create jobs. Before we were here, you didn't have these jobs, and now we're here, and you got 50 jobs, or 110 jobs, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody did a study and found out that every time Walmart hires somebody, 1.4 other people lose their jobs.
There you go.
What they're doing is they're displacing jobs. And actually concentrating jobs, and there's
low wage jobs,
and very, very low wage jobs. So when Walmart comes into a community, you end up with a net fewer jobs, because they replaced all these other people that used to work in the stores that Walmart ran out of business.
Man, hey, Walmart, that really bites.
So if you're listening, Walmart, it's just 972-647-1893. You can call and make a lot of money. You putting somebody on? Okay, good morning. Thanks for calling KNON.
Walmart ran out of business.
Okay, you need to turn your radio down, please.
Yes.
Now we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, this is KNON.
Yes.
Yes.
The world is listening.
I'm enjoying your radio station and the stuff you're talking about, the jobs and everything. I was just looking at the TV the other day when the Attorney General is trying to knock down this law of search and seizure, profiling.
Right. In New York.
In New York.
Stop and frisk.
I'm going to try to hurry up and get off. And because they're talking about Trayvon Martin, the young kid that got killed.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize, that's one of our kids.
That's right.
Sure.
That's one of our kids that got killed, and they still profiling. They're still doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody the other day
said we need to
said
get behind the Attorney General to help him do something about this profiling thing.
that Eric Holder is a pretty good guy.
I like him.
Yeah.
Done a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're going to kill a lot of our kids, and they profile them.
Yeah.
I don't care, even if you're driving a nice car, you're a black man driving, they're going to stop you.
That's called DWB.
You're right.
Driving while black. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be courteous to the police and all, which I've always done that.
Well, and that's something that a lot of white people don't understand.
They don't understand that.
You're
I
right.
listen to KLIF, and they say, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that.
Is that right?
But we are facing this. Why you don't want to talk about it when we are facing this right now?
Because it doesn't, the thing is, it doesn't affect their children.
It doesn't affect their children.
That's right. So, and they don't look beyond themselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But, I have a lot of African-American friends, and I have heard them talk to their kids.
Right.
About, hey, don't drive in this neighborhood. If you get stopped, keep your hands on the wheel. You follow directions. Don't get smart. You
shouldn't have to say stuff like that.
You shouldn't have to teach your children.
If you go to Highland Park, you're a black person, they're going to stop you.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to want to know, what are you doing over here?
Why are you in this neighborhood?
All of this kind of stuff.
Where's your lawnmower?
Yeah,
where's your lawnmower? I like
where's your lawnmower if you're not cutting yards? You're free to drive all over the city.
Yes, you are.
You're a citizen.
Yep.
Right.
And I listen to KLIF every day, and all they do is criticize the president on his initiatives.
That's right.
But they won't try to help him.
There you go.
They try to block everything he came out with.
All right.
Thank you
thanks
so
a lot.
much
We
for
gotta take a
calling
break.
us. Thanks.
Story that's close to me. A worker who's leaning on a bended knee, soiled and tattered in search of relief, fighting for some unspoken belief.
It's the annual Greg A. Smith Leo Birthday Gala, a night in white. Sunday, August 18th at Ariel's Blues Palace, 3100 Grand Avenue in Dallas. Starring Greg A. Smith, Ricky White, Nathaniel Kimball, along with Carl Marshall's return back to Dallas. Also appearing Larry Lampkin, Big Charles Young, Ariel Griffin, and the Blues Palace Show Band, and others. A buffet will be available. I will be filming a live music video along with Ricky White and Nathaniel Kimball. Tickets available at the Blues Palace, Forever Young Records, Elaine's Kitchen. That's Sunday, August 18th at Blues Palace. Doors open at 6 p.m. Sponsored by CDS Records and AMLawGroup.com.
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballasts, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
I wake up in the morning at 4:45. The alarm clock is relentless, for goodness sakes alive.
I'm Gene Lantz, and we want to know who you are. We want you to call and pledge. KNON's the voice of the people, and keep the voice of the people on the air. Our slogan, and I think this is a very, very good slogan, is that the cockroaches do not like the light. If you can come on just like that last caller who made a nice pledge to KNON, if you come on like that last caller and reveal the truth, you reveal what's going on, you'll see the cockroaches scurrying for the corners because they don't like the truth. The truth hits hard against lies. And what you get in corporate America is untrue. I mean, I know that you can't really pin them down on something, some hard and fast facts. It's really hard to pin them down on some. But when you look at it in general, when you realize that corporate America is telling you things like war is a good thing, war is a good thing, or
it's good for the economy.
War is a necessary thing.
It's good for the economy.
Or they tell you that in general, people are responsible for their own tragedies.
Yeah. Pull yourself up by your
Trayvon
bootstraps.
Martin, for example, should not have been in that neighborhood. Didn't he live in that neighborhood?
Yes, he lived in the neighborhood. He was visiting his dad.
There was a guy that announced this the other day that he should not have been in that neighborhood. And
you, sir, should not be in mine.
Or so they say. Anyway, the point is that when you look at what's presented in America, that tragedy is your own fault.
Yeah.
And that when you get crushed in a worker's accident, for example, on the job, that somehow you were guilty of some kind of...
It's a safety violation.
Yeah, or
That's
you were somehow filing a false report or something like that.
Yeah.
When you look at it in general, you realize that we're living in a gigantic lie. The gigantic lie is that everything is just great right now, and if you're poor or if your children are hungry, it's your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not right.
Yeah.
So little programs like ours fight against that.
That's right.
And we're going in the right direction. I'm not going to tell you that if you keep the workers' beat on for another year, that we'll have dramatic change in this area or in America. But I am going to tell you that we'll be going in that direction.
Yes, sir.
And that we will continue to try, we will continue to spread the light, and we will continue working for progress, especially for those who aren't making any progress.
Yep.
We particularly would like to see the low-wage workers and the unemployed get some justice in this country, and they're not right now.
No.
The long-term unemployment is continuing to rise. So you see, if you look at the paper, you say, well, the economy is getting better, or the recession is over.
Oh, look, they're hiring more service workers.
Yeah. And another thing that they kind of skip over the fact that nearly all the new jobs are low-paid jobs.
That's right.
In general, the working class is sinking backwards. So what we are getting is the point of view of the rich people, because corporate America either generates or approves of virtually everything you hear, virtually everything you see, virtually every book you pick up, every movie you see, every song you hear on the radio is either generated or approved by corporate America. This is not a big conspiracy theory or something. It's just
it's the truth.
They own
the fact.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
They own those radio stations. They own those newspapers.
Look, the guy that started Amazon.com, young kid, started Amazon.com, shipping books out of his garage. Now it's a freaking gazillion-dollar industry. He just bought the Washington Post.
And the same week, he also announced that he's going to replace his warehouse workers with robots. So some of these trends, I don't know really how I feel about that guy buying the Washington Post.
I know, me neither, because I don't know what the
Washington Post was one of the better of the big corporate newspapers. Washington Post was actually one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But that is not saying anything. That doesn't mean that they're not still on the side of corporate America, because corporate America owns them. Yeah. And the fact that we know the name of the owner doesn't mean that it's not a big giant corporation.
No.
Amazon's growing to be one of the biggest retailers in the world, and actually challenging Walmart in many places. So,
but now they want to replace their workers with robots.
Now I would be,
come on.
What would really be scary to me is if Walmart bought the Washington Post, and they could,
Oh,
they're the richest family. They're the richest family around, and they control something like 40% of the wealth, something like that.
37.6, something like that. The
Just
six
in
members,
that family,
right?
Yeah.
The 6 members of the Walmart family, the Walton family, have 38% of the wealth in this country.
So it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And the Koch brothers, who are
They got the other
ideologues,
60%. No.
these are big oil men, and they are buying media.
Yep.
They are buying into radio and television stations, and they're just extreme versions of the right wing or the anti-worker continuum. But in general, I'm not trying to say that everybody that has stock in a corporation is a bad person or something like that. I'm just trying to say that corporate America owns the media.
That's right.
And you can't dispute that.
No.
Corporate America owns CBS. You got CBS and Time Warner having a fight right now.
So you can't watch stuff on CBS if you got Time Warner.
Yeah, they've got a dispute among themselves. But the truth is that they're both giant corporations.
Yep.
And all the media in America, not quite all, but nearly all of the media in America is owned by giant corporations. And it's getting to be fewer and fewer of them. Used to, they would these spats among themselves would make more difference than it makes now, because there's not that many of them.
Right.
They could gather together in one room, and if they wanted to. And so corporate America controls almost everything you hear, and except for us. And a few people like us.
They don't control
help us with the Workers Beat, 972-647-1893.
And we got tickets. I got a pair of passes for the Texas Theater, movie passes. And that's a $30 pledge will get you a pair of tickets for the Texas Theater.
That's one theater that the corporate America doesn't own.
That's right.
It's a couple of guys.
It's a couple of guys. That's right.
A couple of guys in Oak Cliff own the Texas Theater.
They have movie showings. They rent it out to things like we're going to have on the 31st, the Labor's March from there. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I like these guys.
Yeah. Texas Theater passes. How much do you have to donate to get tickets to the Texas Theater?
$30. $30 you get 2 movie passes. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And
yeah, that's great.
You better grab that one.
You should grab it.
We got 10 more minutes.
That's right.
For somebody to grab that. And what about the Spiral Diner?
The Spiral Diner and Bakery. I have a gift certificate. A $50 pledge will get you a $30 gift certificate, a bumper sticker, and a program schedule.
Okay.
And they're in Oak Cliff. So they're closed on Mondays, but they're open Saturday from 11 to 10, Sunday from 11 to 5. Man, this place is good. Gene eats there sometimes.
I do. Could somebody call, please, and give us $24,000? I think.
Is that how much we need to get this over with?
I'm looking at the thermometer up there. We have a thermometer behind us. I don't know if you can see it on the video camera or not, but the thermometer says we've raised close to 100,000, and we're going for 114,000. So if you would call and give us $24,000, would we shut up then?
Yeah.
We could just
we could go back about the business of labor and not raising money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, we're doing working people's issues.
That's right.
Anyway,
but we really would like it
if we didn't have to beg for money.
If you would call 972-647-1893
or go
online to knon.org. Or send us a check to 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas 75235. All 3 of those ways you can use to make a pledge.
And if we get to the $114,000, then we're through with the pledge drive for this 3-month period.
That's right.
However, if we don't, we're going to be right back here begging for money again on KNON next week.
Yep.
And that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm willing to do it because I believe in KNON. I'd like to keep KNON on the air. Marjorie's on the line. Let's put her on. Good morning, Marjorie. Thanks for calling KNON.
Hi. I got a phone call yesterday about a candlelight vigil for immigrants and their supporters. It's going to be Monday night at 8 p.m. at Main Street Garden.
Oh, I did see that. I sure did, Marjorie.
What's that static? Marjorie, you got your radio turned down? There's some
hold on,
terrible static going on. So she said a candlelight vigil for immigration reform.
Okay, hold on just a second. Okay.
I'm sorry, Marjorie.
Okay.
We don't hold on the radio.
I'm in a better place now. So 8 p.m. Monday night, candlelight vigil for immigration at Main Street Garden.
Where's Main Street Garden? Do you know, Bonnie?
That's on Main Street between Harwood and St. Paul.
On Main Street between Harwood and St. Paul, 8 o'clock Monday night, immigration reform. Do you know who's putting it on?
I think.
Is it Move On?
I don't think it's TOP. I think
it's Move On. MoveOn.org, Marjorie.
Oh, Move On.
Yeah, Move On.
Okay. Well, Move On's doing a lot of good things. Thanks, Marjorie. You better hang up because you're making this staticky popping sound on the radio. Thanks, Marjorie, for calling that in, and thanks for making your pledge earlier. We appreciate it so much. People that are keeping Workers Beat on the air. Yes. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We still have a few minutes, and we have to make money for this station. Otherwise, we don't get to keep doing what we're doing. I love doing what we're doing. It's important that we're publicizing things that are coming up and facts that are happening. Speaking of loving things and things that are making a better world and things that are making us optimistic about the future. I met with the Mid-Cities group of the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans last week. They celebrated Social Security on the 14th. That's the 78th anniversary of Social Security. And it brought tears to my eyes to see a crowd of mostly retirees, because it wasn't so long ago that you never heard anything from retirees. People assumed that they just either didn't have anything to say, or they had dementia and weren't able to say it, or didn't have any politics, didn't care what was happening, or that they had gone to sleep or something like that. And now they're not. Retirees are coming out of the woodwork and standing up for what's right in this country, the right to retire, and they have this great slogan called "Don't Let Us Be the Last Generation to Retire." They're fighting for the young people and trying to keep the benefits of a rich America coming to people as they get old enough to retire. And that really thrills me to see the way the Alliance for Retired Americans is bringing retirees out to actually do stuff. And it's new, and it's hopeful, and it's inspirational.
Yeah.
I love it. I love being a part of it. 972-647-1893. I love being a part of the Workers Beat program on KNON. I love working with Bonnie and Annie and Doc. Doc's the one who does these videos. If you ever see the videos, you can get them on knon.org. And you can see our programs, and you can see what Bonnie and I look like. I don't know if I should have announced that or not.
I'm not so sure about that either. That's kind of scary.
We don't dress our best. Oh, Bonnie does.
Well, I did today because I'm going to brunch with my girlfriend, but you know.
So anyway, KNON's doing the best that we can, and we're working for you and trying to help you. Phyllis is on the line. You're going to let her on?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what Phyllis has to say. Thanks for calling KNON, Phyllis.
Hi there.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask the details of the program at St. Luke's on the Affordable Care Act. Bonnie mentioned it a few minutes ago.
Yes, that's going to be on the 10th.
September 10th.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it all day?
No, ma'am, it starts at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
Yes, I think it's either 6 or 7. And it's at the Community Life Center, the Zan Holmes Community Life Center there on Grand Avenue. If you will call TOP, do you have their number?
No.
And I don't either. How about that? Isn't that terrible? I have Allison's number, but I don't have TOP's number. You know what, Phyllis? I will send you the information.
Okay.
I sure will. I'll make myself a note, and I will send you that information.
Just email it to me because I think as many of us as possible
yes, ma'am.
should know how to reach out on the Affordable Care Act. I think it's going to be hard for people at first.
Yes,
it's going to
ma'am.
be very hard. So,
education.
Like any other insurance program.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Education is going to be the key. You bet, Phyllis. And I'll email that information to you. I sure will.
And if you know of other programs that we would be interested in,
yes, ma'am.
Anything will help.
You bet. You bet. I will get that information out to you.
Thanks for calling,
Have a great
Phyllis.
day.
Thank you.
You
You
bet.
too,
Bye-bye.
dear.
One more time on the books, you can get this book by Greg Palast called Armed Madhouse that explains what's happening in America and tells you how crazy it is, because it is. And the Whistleblower's Handbook for a $40 pledge, it helps you become a whistleblower. And frankly, you need a little protection if you're going to be a whistleblower. There's a whistleblower's laws that are supposed to protect you, but look what happens. Okay, there's Always Bring a Crowd, the story of Frank Lumpkin, the guy who organized the steelworkers when the plant shut down. And this is something everybody needs to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Especially my plant, because they're going to
Yeah,
close.
they're gonna close
They're
your
going to close
plant.
the old LTV plant in Grand Prairie. It's been here since 1939.
Wow.
They're going to close that thing, and just to heck with the working people. And this book called Rainbow at Midnight, which is the best book I've ever seen. In a few short chapters, it explains what happened in 1947 that became the nemesis of the American labor movement. So for a $40 pledge, you can get one of those books. Call 972-647-1893 and make a pledge. Or you can get online.
KNON.org. That's an easy way. You can
click
mail
make a
check.
donation, I think.
That's right.
And then you have to say
what's
that you
your
like the
favorite
Workers
show?
Beat.
That's right.
If you don't say that, we don't get credit for it.
Yeah.
The station still gets the money.
But we don't get credit.
If you pick some other program, or if you don't answer that question, the station still gets the money, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, but we want to
uh,
make sure that you tell them how much you love us.
Okay, so tell them how much you
Tell
love
them
us.
how much you love us. That's what we need. We need your love.
That might be a little too intimate.
Well, you know.
Tell them that you can tolerate us.
There you go.
If you can tolerate us, then put
Then put the
Workers
money
Beat
up.
on that part.
That's right.
Because we need it. We need to stay on the air if we're going to be able to do anything good.
Because there's so much, I just see the folks out here that I talk to every day, and they understand we have to get the word out. That's why Gene and I are here every single Saturday morning helping you to find out what's going on out there so that you can help yourself.
And also, we're the warm-up act for Jim Schutz.
That's right.
The guy who really
darkest hour in radio.
And if you're in a world of darkness,
that's right.
Jim Schutz brings us the darkest hour in radio, and it's coming up.
The word that would be "Get off my lawn."
Get off my lawn is coming. They're actually standing at the door saying,
right.
"Well, why are you guys wasting
He's
so much
looking over there going,
time?
"Get out, get out."
Call us 972-647-1893. Make a pledge.
Thank you.
Bonnie
See
and
you
I don't
next
have
week.
to be here for you to make a pledge. We'll be back next week.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.